Okay, we're going to talk about attaching your shadow box to your frame. Your shadow box has a little block of wood on it right here. Oops. And there's a hole in it, and in that hole goes a screw. You need to make sure that your screw, if it didn't come with one, is long enough to go through the shadow box and into the frame, but not so long that it's going to poke a hole through your frame all the way to the front of it. So you have to be aware of how much space you have. Okay, Tina's frame has, she's already got her glass in here. She has a piece here that looks really deep, but if you turn it over and look at it, let me see if I can do this without dropping the glass. Oops. There's a felt liner in here, so while that thing looks really deep, you really don't want to punch through the liner. So you should keep your screws so that they are long enough to go into the wood, but not so far that they will go through the wood and into the front of your frame. I'm going to talk to you about glass and shadow boxes. Shadow boxes normally have a 1/4 inch drop in the rabbet. That's this little edge right here. This is the depth of the rabbet. All rabbets are not created equal. Some are 1/4 inch, some are a little over, some are a little under, some are as deep as 3/8 of an inch. Your shadow box is a 1/4 of an inch deep. So if your rabbet is deeper than this, you have two issues. One is, the main one that you're concerned about, is your glass will rattle. If you put your shadow box in, you should always dry fit it. If you put your shadow box in and you pick it up and you do that and you can hear the frame rattle, the simplest cure for that is to take some either silicone glue or some fast tack glue and run 1 inch up and 1 inch over and 1 inch up and 1 inch down, and the same on all 4 corners, and that will glue your glass into the frame so that you won't get glass rattle, because that annoys the heck out of me. I don't know if it bothers anybody else, but it drives me nuts. So what you're going to do is put your frame in, put your box in, and then what you have here is where it gets screwed down. So Tina has a little bit of rattle. So we'll come back later and glue that frame in. The other option is to put a mat at the glass, and you can do that. So all you're going to do basically is screw your little screw in until you hit the edge of this. And it's not a bad idea to do it with your finger on the other side. If you're not sure that your screw is short enough, you want to put your finger on the other side where the screw is going to come through, and that way if you feel it, you can stop before it punctures the wood or the velvet, and then you can get a shorter screw. And then once you do that, your picture is framed. Looks nice, nice frame. We spray painted the box black to match the velvet, and then if you turn it over and look at it, that looks like a nice framing job. It's closed up well, it's not ragged, it's not messy, it looks good. And then the only thing you have to do now is attach a hanger, and I would suggest that your hanger goes on your frame, not on your box, because your boxes are not super thick, and that puts more stress against the box being into the frame. So if you attach it to the frame, you're far better off. And for us, because this leader edge is kind of short, I don't want to try to get a eye hook in there, so I'm going to put the eye hooks out here on this outside edge. And normally what I do is measure down about 3 inches on both sides, and that's where my eye hook goes, and then I'll have braided wire that'll go from eye hook to eye hook. Okay,